with another one. You already know what it is. ATAS, across time and space. Hold on, we got a little bit of. Uh, there we
There
go.
we go. Hey, I'm in
There
your
it
face.
is.
It's your boy Tipsy Japan back with another episode of ATAS across time and space. Yeah. I was in the little screen. I just had to explode.
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties. It seems to be our MO. That we have technical difficulties. Right now, I feel like my face is freezing. I feel like the audio is not synced up, but the show must go on.
Yeah, it is. Hey, you know what? You know what happened? You know what happened with the boy Jeremiah? He was like, "But Lord, I'm too young, and I haven't lived these years yet." And he was like, "You know what? You're gonna go where I send you, and do what I command you. All right, that's it. All right, you go ahead and do it. All right, because I sent you there. That's it." And you know how old he was? What was he? 12, between 12 and 16. He said, "Lord, I'm only a child." I want to hear that.
Do not say that you're only a child. Before you were born, I knew you. I knit you together in your mother's womb. Like there's so much there.
Yeah. That's what we over here on cross culture. I mean, he'll give you the exact verse. All right.
Oh man, what is it? What is it? 4, 1 through 8.
Yeah.
Oh,
4 through 8. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, 1, 4 to 8. I just got a piece of that this morning. It's Sunday morning, y'all. All right. I hope you're up. It's things that need to get done in the house of the Lord. And when you leave the house of the Lord, you better have the house of the Lord on you. All right. That heavenly dwelling. All right. I'm groaning. I'm waiting for that heavenly dwelling, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's come to my attention that my audio wasn't all that great 2 weeks ago. Like I said in the testimony of that video and the podcast, a new laptop, trying new things out. So even right now, I can see that my video is like freezing. There's a few issues there, but if I come correct.
Yeah, all right. I had a feeling I was doing that, right? Yeah, I was just freezing. I was doing like freezing dancing. That's what we call that. Yeah. Popping, blocking. Freeze. Am I freezing?
So,
okay.
Well, a little bit, but the audio is definitely out of sync. I'm hearing things a little late. But we're going to get to it. We're going to get down to it.
Yeah.
So, we are reading Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari. And we're taking the first chapter a couple chunks at a time. So it's been 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. This is the third 30-minute block. So you should be up to 1 hour and 30 minutes at this point.
At this point, at the end of this call or at the end of this podcast, you should
have read ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you should be up to 130, right? I'm at 135 on my fifth pass to this point. All right. Reading it again and again, listening again and again. But hey, either way, we listening in or reading it on scribd, depending on your proclivity. And it's a wild ride. It's an enjoyable ride. I call it Homo Deus, but he calls it Homo Deus, right?
Deus, yes.
Deus. Who knows how to say it, right?
I mean, you're supposed to have the pronunciation down, seeing as you're.
I do. It's just I'm an American, and when I say Deus, all right, it feels better. Like, the Deus ex machina. No, the Deus ex machina, right? Yeah.
Mind you, that's what is it? Resolution by machine. That's what they used to do when the plays would go on too long. It's like people are getting bored and like Deus ex machina. Something happens. Everybody dies. Okay, we're out.
Swoop. Yeah. But in real life, I guess the Deus ex machina is like when God just comes in, swoops in, and everything the day is saved, right? That's what you're waiting for.
Like everybody. There's no redemption. It's just like we got a story.
Yeah.
But
We in there.
The first thing I want to talk about tonight, get into this, is death as fuel.
Death as fuel.
Fuel.
Ooh.
All right. So I just want to
provocative.
I mean, I gotta try to do it. Gotta do it for cool.
Man, you even gotta try this.
So,
okay. Go ahead. What's the angle?
Dude, I just want to talk about it a little bit because it's not the bulk of this portion of the chapter. But fuel, the idea that we do what we do because we know that our end is coming. Back up the camera just a little bit here. We know that our end is coming. So, say, all right, before I turn such thing, I want to have this done. Before on my deathbed, I want to have this done. And we use that as reasoning for going on and, having these little mile markers and making sure that things are done. So, Yuval talks about the fact that when it comes to monarchs, or emperors, if we weren't doing things for the means for that, or these people never died when they did, it would be a much different place. So, I mean, the most recent that we have, as far as monarchs, is Queen Elizabeth.
That's true.
And she does come up in the chapter, just a little hairspray. But if, let's say that, the singularity was a thing, we're able to stave off her death for another 100 years, the world would be a much different place. So we are using the idea of death as a means to go on. And I know that for, what is it called? Those who are atheists, usually it's, hey, I know that this is the only life that I'm going to live, so I have to make it work. Or, this is the only life I want to live, so I need to basically do whatever I want to do. But that brings us into our next point. The keys to the kingdom called happiness.
Right? Keys to the kingdom.
Keys to the kingdom called happiness.
Okay.
So the bulk of this chapter was talking about, I'm clicking around here, Epicurus.
Oh, that's how you spell it. I don't know.
Yeah, right. What was the chapter was like Epicurus?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Epicurus.
So
Epicureanism.
Epicurus.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The guy's name was Epicurus.
Yeah, Epicurus.
Oh, okay.
Or probably Epicurus. Yeah.
He's.
But what did you get from the chapter as far as this guy? What was his major MO thing that he was talking about?
Yeah, basically, like he felt like Nietzsche's great granddaddy. Like he, taking God out the picture and saying that man's greatest, achievement, or the best thing he can do in life is to make himself as happy as possible. Like that's what he should go for. And in order to get there, though, it wasn't just like about fleeting experiences, but it felt like closer to stoicism than initially I had thought. And stoicism, is to kind of have a steady state of happiness, but then bad things happen, you just know how to breathe it off and keep it moving, but yeah, Epicurus, like he came up with a set of rules, like how people should live. It's not like orgies all the time. Like don't do that. That's not going to give you happiness in the long run. Although it may be, feel great at the moment. If it does, I don't know. Right.
But go there.
Yeah. So his piece was about attaining as much happiness as possible in this life because there's no other. All right. That's it.
Yes. So what you said is definitely true, but I feel like his earlier teachings were like, oh, man, just everything that man does is to the point of happiness. He
Mm.
just wants to be happy. Everything he does is just self-serving, self-seeking, and there's no life after. So get all your happiness now.
Get it while you can get it.
But he went on to say that, like you said, these fleeting moments aren't what gets you that happiness. It's the lasting relationships that we make. It's
Mm.
being a productive part of society. All of these things that help in the pursuit of happiness.
There you go.
We have
Now
a
we're coming back to
document.
the 21st century, 20th century.
Yeah,
Mm.
we have a document that says we are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, what does that mean to you? Life,
The
liberty, and the
pursuit.
pursuit of happiness.
Well, economically speaking, the pursuit of happiness is what runs the economy, not people actually being in the state of happiness, but going after it by working hard, being productive, pursuing it, right?
Mhm.
In the chase, we can, you know, approach happiness, but we can also build up the society. We can pay our taxes. In the pursuit of happiness, we're following the rules. So there's, people aren't breaking the law and just going out there and, infringing on other people's pursuit. As long as the pursuit's within the confines of, expectations of society and public morals, then yeah, go ahead. Run wild and make that business, because that business is going to contribute to society and make it more productive.
Mhm.
Um, you know, like that's basically what the pursuit of happiness is. And I think that was a wise choice by the forefathers, rather than just saying, all right, well, everyone's entitled to happiness. Because wait, if we say that everyone's entitled to happiness, then what if my happiness looks like this and it doesn't exactly look like your happiness? Is that okay? Yeah. Um, and nowadays we see a lot of laws protecting individuals or protecting different groups and things like that. Um, like as though we're trying to secure happiness for them. But like what in the past, the reason for that was to build up the nation. Right. And it was a lot clearer than it was before. Now we're not thinking like nation, nation, nation. We need to make, the nation great. It's just, protect everyone in the nation, or ensure them happiness, give them a basic income, BI, right? In order to what? I mean, the state is here for us, or are we here for the state? I think maybe in the lack of war, like close to home, that we kind of feel like, all right, well, what's going on with the state here? What can the state do for me? Like, I'm paying my taxes, so that they should be providing me with something. I should feel happy, but that's really not the way it works. Um, people feel happiness and they feel pain. And I don't know if you want to touch on that point, but if you go in that direction, are you going that direction already?
No, man, go
I know it's
ahead. Go
coming.
ahead. What we gotta
Okay,
do?
all right. So people feel happiness and they feel pain, right? And
Mhm.
like the pain, that you feel when, like, for example, your stomach is empty, will make you go out there and pursue whatever work that you need to get done in order to make sure there's food on the table and you're not experiencing that pain so often, or your family isn't experiencing that pain so often. You know, if you get married or whatever, and your wife is feeling like hunger pains all the time, it's just like, well, this guy is not very productive. Something's wrong here. Like, I'm at home taking care of the kids, and you tell me you can't, stop me from feeling that pain of hunger more often than not. So yeah. Look on TV and you see all these people like in happiness, and that longing state. That longing state is another type of pain. And you see in them, and they look like they're enjoying themselves. So we start to pursue happiness, and pursue that feeling of I'm able to provide, but it doesn't last. And that's the
Hmm.
issue. The feeling that your stomach is full is a painful thing, so you don't want to eat too much, right? The feeling that you're hungry lasts for a long time, but then as soon as you eat, that's gone. And the taste that you have when you're enjoying the food, that's great, but it doesn't last either, right? you're actually in this kind of pitiful state. Like after you eat, you're not very hungry anymore. So you're not pursuing food. You're not creating more food, like delicious dishes.
Yeah.
You're just kind of in this relatively disgusting state. Like, all right, I feel satisfied and I don't really want to do anything else. Like I have the itis. Just go to sleep, right? So I think people need to be more comfortable with being hungry, to tell the truth. And in Japan, they have something called hara hachi bun. Hara hachi bun. That means stomach 80%, right? Do not eat more than 80% of your full like state, right? Why? Because you're gonna get fat. Your stomach's going to expand if you eat more than that 80%. And you're not really going to enjoy the food as much. Like really good food shouldn't be like gorged, right? It shouldn't be gorging all the time. You should just, enjoy a little bit here, a little bit there, get your balanced diet and roll. And that's what happiness feels like that. Happiness feels like that in a meal. Like, oh, that tastes good. Let me get a little bit of something. Oh, that's nice. It tastes in every bit and piece, but you're not just, oh, I don't know when the next meal is coming in survivor mode. All right, come on, man. Yeah. I can get on food, man, and the pursuit of happiness there. I'll tell you last week.
That's what it is.
I'm hungry. Oh, I ain't hungry no more. I ain't hungry no more. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself.
I feel like the pursuit of happiness, as you're bringing it up, is a little bit of that hunger. It's not just to say, oh, I want to be happy, but it's to say, I'm hungry for the feeling of happiness. So much so that people who make YouTube channels, they're going out and they're saying, oh, I'm going to chase the bag, but I'm going to chase it in my own way. I don't want somebody else telling me what to do. Yeah, I have sponsors, but, I pick my sponsors and I'm going to do it my way. Versus clocking in at a 9 to 5, where there's no chance of ever moving up or out of the company, just going through the motions. Is that happiness? I mean, for some people, analyzing data is like the bee's knees. They want to do that. And if you like that, I know because there's a data analyst at my job, and she really loves coming up with different ways to collect the data, different ways to compile the data, different ways to present the data. I'm just like, girl, I would rather not. But it's the pursuit of happiness, chasing it, running after it,
Not actually being there yet. But all right, how am I going to collect this data? That's happening.
Well, just what makes you happy. Different people, happiness is dependent on the person. We can't say, like you said earlier, it's not, my happiness may not look like your happiness, but that doesn't make it any less valid. If my happiness is to Scrooge McDucket, have a bunch of money and swim through it or whatever.
Yeah. That's you. Yeah. Yeah. People can pursue that state, but once they reach that state, it's never enough, right? You tend to spend more time in the pursuit than the actual the climax of happiness, right? I mean, it's better. It's better to be in that constant state of pursuit, but if you don't actually get to reap the benefits, the harvest of all that all that cultivating, then you kind of lose interest too. So it's good to have a taste of happiness, but then get back to the pursuit, run that race, spin that wheel, get up and party.
So it's something akin to eating and never being filled. Yeah. There's a song by Garnett Silk. I can't remember the name of it, but he says in that song, belly's filled, but they're starving. So that's kind of the, and he talks about how we need to be looking towards God. It's not anything in and of ourselves. And I feel like in everybody's life, there is a God goal.
Mm. There's
Fill it with any and everything else. We try to anyway, where it'll never be filled because it's a God-sized hole, and we're trying to fill this infinite space with all of these finite things. Square hole round peg type thing.
And what would it be if people were filled, if they're that piece inside of them, that the thing that they should have God there, but they're putting everything else in it? What would society look like if they put God there? What do you think? Do you think it would be,
I don't know, it's
like a utopian state, everyone's giving and loving, but not pursuing like money, like, you know, food, women?
It would be odd. I feel like anything I say right here is going to be a fallacy. You know, saying the sample is true for the whole is a little much. But I feel like if we could look outside of ourselves and our own self-interests more, you know, I feel like at the very least, wealth would be spread. I feel at the very least that there would be less people experiencing like destitute poverty. I'm not saying like making ends meet, but all these people that we have on the streets. Maybe addiction would come down too, because you would have people who are willing to say, I will be a community for you. You know, I will look after you. And then somebody else to say they will look after that person, so on and so forth. And I feel like that's kind of the utopia, but not the utopia. I'm not saying that we're like, oh, okay, you know, everybody would have a Rolls Royce. I don't feel like
they wouldn't be pursuing it. They wouldn't even be pursuing
there would no pursuit. There would be no need. You know, it'd be communism at its finest. Communism looks great on paper, but usually one person runs away with it. It's like, oh yeah, you know, I need to have everything myself. You know, not just for the community, but for myself.
Yeah. I'm not that guy, but yeah, I know he exists. We have his address here. No.
We have his address.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
I mean,
that's true.
It's the sense of the pursuit of happiness. You know, what does your happiness look like? Not only for you, but for the community that you live in, for the family that you're a part of, for the school you attend, for the job that you work at. Are you just chasing that bag? Are you just going to get what's good for you? Or are you trying to become a more productive part of the whole?
Is that a question for me, or
that's it? Yeah, sure.
Or a rhetorical question? Oh, okay. No. Oh, well, here's an interesting one, because you had Ecclesiastes, right? That's for your listeners, but you got Ecclesiastes, right? And this guy says, Solomon, right, with all his wisdom,
Ecclesiastes or Song of Solomon?
No, Ecclesiastes. Song of Solomon is the love song. That's just a love song. Love song. Yeah.
I'm thinking Ephesians when you said Ecclesiastes.
I'm thinking Ecclesiastes. So you got Ecclesiastes, and the man says there's nothing new under the sun, right? And he's out there, like, he's got his whole kingdom on lock. You know, he has 600 wives and 600 wives and 300 concubines.
Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he has everything you want in terms of satisfaction on that end. Probably got 99 problems too. But you know, what he was saying is that there's like nothing new under the sun. I would open up right now. You know what? But all right, just read the first two chapters of Ecclesiastes, because he will sit up there and say, like, I pursued pleasure, I pursued wisdom, and at the end of the day, my no, this is for your listeners. I'm gonna do this
I'm
for
already
you.
looking it up. You ain't saying nothing but a word.
I might get there
I
first.
can
So
do
we
that
got
now.
your
Please,
digital, right?
verse 9.
Yeah.
I think you want to start.
Hold on. Ecclesiastes, because it was real interesting. I was looking at the first 2 chapters, like, dude, how self-centered are you? You know, everything is meaningless is chapter 1, right? But then chapter 2 is about pleasures. And we're talking about pleasures. And I just want to go from verse 1. Oh man, can I go from verse 1 to 11? Because it's just
1 to
that
11.
I want the listeners to count how many times he says my, me, myself, I. Like, all right, I thought in my heart. This is what Solomon said. I thought in my heart, come now, I will test you with pleasure to find out what is good. He's talking to his own
Where
heart.
are you reading from?
Chapter 2, verse 1.
Chapter 2, because I'm in chapter 1.
Yeah.
That's
Everything
where,
is meaningless with
yeah,
chapter 1.
everything. Yeah.
Chapter 2, pleasures are meaningless. All right.
Okay.
Now, so I'll read verse 1 one more time. It's for the listeners so they can catch up. If y'all on the same page, say amen.
Amen.
Okay. I thought in my heart, come now, I will test you with pleasure to find out what's good. All right. But that also proved to be meaningless. It's a big waste of time. This is connected to what we're talking about. Laughter, I said, is foolish. And what does pleasure accomplish? I tried cheering myself with wine and embracing folly, my mind still guiding me with wisdom. I wanted to see what was worthwhile for men to do under the sun during the few days of their lives. I undertook great projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made reservoirs to water groves of flourishing trees. I bought male and female slaves and had slaves who were born in my house, and also owned more herds and flocks than anyone in Jerusalem before me. I amassed silver and gold for myself and the treasure of kings and provinces. I acquired men and women, singers, and a harem as well, the lights of the heart of man. I became great by far than anyone in Jerusalem before me. And in all this, my wisdom stayed with me. I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. I refused my heart no pleasure. My heart took delight in all my work, and this was the reward of all my labor. All right. Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless. And chasing after the wind, nothing was gained under the sun. Guess what? It's because you're looking at yourself. That's what the problem is. All right.
So I
You're looking
mean,
at
I
yourself.
want to look at that a little bit different. Because
Okay.
what it says in the first chapter is like anything that you think you've amassed, like it's not good. Like you think that all of this is so good for you that you're chasing after it, and it's all folly. And then he, as the king, says, you know, I have done these things. And notice that Solomon is the one who rebuilt the temple, right? And he dedicated it, and it was like a party for a week, right?
Yes.
So he's saying, I've done all these great things. And you notice what he says at the, you read verse 11?
Yep.
Okay. So I have the Message Bible. So this one is a little more contemporary.
Okay.
Then I took a good look at everything I'd done. Looked at all the sweat and hard work. So he's saying like he was running after it.
Yeah.
But when I looked, I saw nothing but smoke. Like nothing, vapors, like everything that I did, everything that I thought, everything that was worthy of praise that I put forth. Vapors. Boom. Smoke and spitting into the wind. There was nothing to any of it. Nothing. So he's realizing, he's coming to this point of realization that I was chasing after something that was it seems so good to me.
Mm-hmm. He
And
was
there's a
doing the
lot of
epic.
good that came out of his life.
Yeah.
A lot of good that came out of his life. But he realizes, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm not the one.
It's
He
not. Yeah.
realizes
Exactly.
something's bigger than me out there.
Right. It's not just I. 29
Hmm.
times according to Denny S. Thank you. Thank you for looking that up for us. You know. But yeah, like all that as the king, he's out there sweating, making smoke, all right, spinning in circles. But where's he getting? Can he bring that stuff with him to the other side? No. All right. And further on in Ecclesiastes, he's basically stating that the best thing that he could find is for that man to enjoy the labor that he does. Right.
Mhm.
If you enjoy the thing that you're doing, in that pursuit of happiness, for example, for me as a teacher, like I actually enjoy that teaching thing. It really doesn't matter what the paycheck looks like, because that's not going to make me happy. It's going to disappear in a few seconds anyway. All right.
Hmm.
But if you say like you actually enjoy the part while you're making that money, then that's a blessing from God. This itself is a good thing. Right. So yeah, I mean, I think that was very relevant to the situation.
Oh yeah,
You know,
definitely.
for example, like if you may not enjoy being full, but if you like to chew, then you're gonna enjoy a life of eating, right? If you like the chewing part, right? Because you can
Well,
chew all you want, man. You're supposed to chew like 50 times before you swallow.
yeah.
Nobody does that. You just,
No.
yeah.
Wait. Because I know I wanted to bring this up before when you were talking about eating. Um, to my knowledge, there is a not an idiom, but a saying in Japanese for when you just want to have like flavor in your mouth. Like
Mm.
I think it translates to my mouth is lonely.
Oh.
But I mean, to my knowledge,
Mm.
it's something like, oh, I want to have some flavor in my mouth. I'm not seeking to eat to be filled,
Mm.
but I wouldn't mind, like a little nosh or something like that.
Mm.
That concept first became clear to me
Mm.
when my stepmother, um,
Mm.
she, I can only remember her saying it one time, but she was just like, "Oh, I need some flavor in my mouth. Does
Mm.
anybody have
Mm.
like a mint or something like, just to have something there?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's it's knowing when to be content.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I need to eat. I need to eat. I need to eat. I'm not. But you're also not saying, oh, I don't want to eat right now. I don't want to pursue anything. But you're saying, okay, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? If I take this little bit, I can be happy with it right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I take this little bit, then it'll hold me over to when my success comes in this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's helpful too. That actually reminds me, like, thing that comes to the spirit right now, or just comes to remembrance is when I do a fast,
Mm,
and the fast is only supposed to be 12 hours, but sometimes I'll go 24, but it'd be like late at night, right? Right. It'd be like late at night, and I want to eat something, but I know if I eat something right now, I'm just gonna sit in my stomach, but I
mm,
want to, I want like some substance in me. Some yogurt will do a body good, right? Because it's all good bacteria in yogurt anyway, right? As long as it's not like some sugary mess, you could take that down. It's actually was bifidus. I know I'm not saying that like
Bite
Latin or
fetus.
whatever, bifidus or something like that. It's got acidophilus in it, and acidophilus, yeah, that's the good one. Philos,
I mean,
philos,
I
yeah, acidophilus, right? That's our brother acidophilus from Philadelphia. No, but it's got the good stuff in it, and if you take that, this is a public service announcement, a little PSA, right? You take that before going to bed, then it's not going to ruin your stomach, and actually, it'll take care of you. The next day you might be
Mhm.
regular, like some of our regular
Mm,
listeners.
well,
Well.
I mean, we've covered a few topics, or what
Mm-hmm.
we've covered one topic with a plethora of avenues. I feel like it's just been branching out from the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
As it should. As it
as
should.
I mean, yeah, we're here to release the floodgates of knowledge. You know, we want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that everything is able to be digested. Oh
Digest
my.
and then floods. Oh man, digest and floods. I got all kinds of conflicting
Yeah,
images,
yeah.
but
There's a lot. There's a lot there. Uh, but I do want to end. Definitely thank you to the listeners. Try, like I said, be patient with me. Trying to put stuff, trying to make it in there. Thank you to I'm gonna send special shout outs right now. Water Post Laser showed up 10 minutes early to the stream, right?
I got my water
Regular
pulse
listener,
laser right here.
and then you got Denny S, coming in too, and it's fabulous to see you guys just fueling us.
In the comment section.
Definitely, thank you for that.
Mm.
Whether it be live comment, or not so live comment after the fact. I do try to get to every comment. I try to check and make sure that I'm interacting with you guys. So definitely make sure that you're putting that forth. And next week we'll be on TEC Japan's channel. So make sure that if you're not subscribed and have those notifications on,
hit the
go
bell.
ahead and do that.
Please
In the description right now. In the description is his link. So go ahead, hit that link, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you'll know exactly when we're going live on either channel.
I appreciate that.
And it can't get much better than that.
It really can't.
So until next time, you know what I say. Stay prayed up, be blessed.
And, this is the end of the show. So go ahead, get yourself a pen, a pad, write it down. It's been your boy, Ace of Cross Culture and TPC Japan, telling you that that's what it is. Peace.